You embarrass dudes by running them over, by calling out the play like you did with Clay Matthews before you snapped the ball, and you celebrated your ass off, and bro, dudes could not stand that from you.
It was Mike Tolbert and Cam Chancellor. They kind of met at the hole. Bang! That's all you heard. And I was like, oh, shit. They hitting, boy. One thing about it, though, it ain't a lot of dudes that done did what I done did, making an impact the way I did. Not only that, making an impact in the league. It was like, yo, bro, like.
Before we started this, I hit up Cam. I'm like, hey, bro, we the same class of 2011, best draft class, by the way. Tackled this dude couple about 50 times. I ain't getting no sacks, no picks, but always battled against the dude, but we never really connected like that. So, brother, finally nice to meet you, and I appreciate you hopping on the show.
Absolutely, man. KJ, I was tapping into before, but you was at Mississippi State when I took my official visit to Mississippi State. And obviously, you know, the rest is history, but shit, it was down to Auburn and Mississippi State. And it was
Walk me through it, brother. I saw you there with the cowbells. You were smiling in the student section. Walk me through it, man. What was the final straw? What happened?
What was your running back 24?
That's Boobie Dixon.
So Boobie, right? This is never before heard, whatever. After that game, y'all play Ole Miss, right?
Yeah.
Boobie was my host.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, Lord. Okay. Where we going?
So I went back to Boobie's house, and I guess his he had like an uncle or something, like a drunk. He was drunk at that particular point in time, right? What's the quarterback number 4?
Ooh, not Dak Prescott.
Black guy, black dude. No, he was 14. He was
14. That's Chris Ruff. Chris Ruff was 14.
Listen, so when I go back to Boobie's house, you know, the uncle just got to talking. He was like, man, who the fuck is him? Da-da-da-da-da. Man, I don't believe in it, man. You give me rough. I was looking at him.
Stop
I was
it.
like,
Stop it.
On my soul, on my firstborn. He kept it going. He was like, man, bro, to be honest with you, Cam Newton, I take rough over Cam Newton. And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, I'm like, yo, bro, like, y'all want me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and then, but Boobie was saying like, bro, we one quarterback away from really being a contender. You dig what I'm saying?
He was vouching. He had your back.
Yeah. Boobie was so holding it down, but his uncle, I just kept like looking at him like, bro, like that Hennessy taking over, my boy. You having like an out of body experience right now. You know what I mean? And I just remember everything was good, bro. First off, Stark Vegas treated me well.
It's love there. It's love there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that was just something that I was like, man, what in the hell?
And so you telling me that before you got there, you was considering like, okay, Mississippi State here, Auburn may be like right here, but that shit just went all the way here.
Not with that specific situation. You know what I'm saying? Because really, the determining factor came down to Auburn having so many seniors, and Mississippi State was really a contender. Obviously, what Dan Mullen was doing there at the time was unprecedented. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Really,
you played for him.
Absolutely, in Florida. But going through it at the age of, I was 19 to 20 at that point in time, and I was like, bro, like, he didn't know. Did nobody really know at that time, like, who Cam Newton really was going to be? But hell, I believed in myself enough. It was like, bro, this motherfucker here hating. Like, the fuck are we talking about? And I guarantee you, if you ask Boobie knows exactly what I'm
saying. You know it.
I swear to beans. But I never really had a platform to kind of speak on it. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, with you going to Mississippi State, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, but appreciate you joining us, man. But hey, we got to talk about your squad, man. I hate to start like this, but the Carolina Panthers, 0-3, came here to Seattle last week. We just had a 10-year reunion, by the way, and so it was the worst time to come here. But tell me, dog, what you saying with your squad right now?
I believe in Bryce, but I think you have to raise him with care. I think a person like Bryce could be scarred, just like any other quarterback could be scarred if thrown to the wolves too early, right? We all know, hell, you had a perfect example of this. Russell Wilson came into a system that he inherited. He inherited a good situation. We all know anytime you're the first pick, that means you're going to a shit team. I went through it. Peyton Manning went through it. All the number one picks went through it. And this day and age, it's about who and what can you do right now. But I think when you're dealing with a talent like Bryce Young, it's the long tenure rather than right now success. You feel me? So when you look,
Let me slow you down, Cam. Let me slow you down. Let's look at your roster. You had your year 2011. You had Hall of Famer Steve Smith, future Hall of Famer Steve Smith. You had Gio. You had D'Angelo Williams. When you look at Bryce, does he have somewhat of enough around him? Not even close.
No. And I see the receiver skill set. Yes. You see the Thielen, you see Clark, you see the tight end there. But from top to bottom, for him, it's not set up for him to be successful, especially not his rookie year, in my honest opinion. And like I said, everything that Carolina is and building, will they get to that point? Yes. But right now, yes. In throwing, him into the wolves and expecting instant success, that's not the quarterback position, unfortunately. What I will say is going to take a season for him to kind of see the preparation, seeing the tempo of the game, seeing, just in-game adjustments at its finest. And shucks, I mean, you take anybody, look at Patrick Mahomes. Do we know if Patrick Mahomes would have been instant starter, would he have had the success that he's had now? I would beg to differ, right? To say I don't think he would. Having a guy like Alex Smith to play in front of him, having, building a defense, building the skill set around him, special teams and things like that, putting him in the best situation possible, similar to, like I said, I go back to Russell Wilson, where he didn't necessarily have to win games. He just didn't have to lose games too. With that type of defense, you had Earl, you had Cam, you had yourself, you had
Bobby.
But man, the list goes on. Cliff, you had
Mike B. We have some dudes.
Bro. And I'm forgetting about the DB 6'3", 6'4" on the edge, just rangy guys. Richard Sherman, you had.
Oh yeah.
You had a defense that was going to give the offense chances. Obviously, when you factor in Marshawn Lynch, when you factor in Doug, when you factor in everything that you guys kind of had on top of the fan support, man, you was already starting. Down 6 points in Seattle, just by mere effect of everything being equal.
Put your GM hat on for me. In your era, in our era, you had them dudes. You had yourself. You had Ted Ginn, Gio, Jonathan Stewart. You had on the D, Thomas Davis. Bro, how did you guys take this team, right? Went to the Super Bowl, 15-1. But it seemed like yesterday y'all was just in the Super Bowl. What happened during that time? Okay, we got this squad, but you look at where we are now in the blink of an eye, we 0-3 to start the season. What went on management-wise with the franchise to lead us to where we're at now?
All right.
And keep it above, keep it as real as you possibly can. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm gonna keep it funky for you, bro. I think respectfully, everything that David Tepper has brought to the Panthers organization has been good, right? And that was a rookie owner. So for him to understand the importance that talent isn't always the best deciding factor of acquiring a player. You have to take into mind leadership skills. You have to take into mind, is he a good teammate? You have to take into mind also skill set, right? One thing that I admired about the Seattle Seahawks was it was like a brotherhood from looking from afar. You would see y'all motherfuckers arguing on the sideline. There's a clip that's out there right now with Marshawn Lynch talking shit to Richard Sherman. Damn, bro,
yeah.
That accountability is winning success. Pete Carroll knows that, right? And over time, that that's what was our deciding kind of caveat to get us to that successful season in 2015. Luke held me accountable. I had TD accountable. You had Michael Orr. You had Greg Olson. You had Jonathan Stewart. You had, so many different people.
Khalil.
Ryan Khalil, and he was the epitome of the ultimate pro, right? Trey Turner. You had so many different Kawan Short, Star Latulele. It's so many players that played their role, and it never was, about me. It was more or less about me. Now, when you take on, my type of personality, some would say Cam think he bigger than the team. Well, I never took that character and made it go against the team. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who knows me or who have played with me know, bro, I'm an ultimate player. You feel what I'm saying? Now, when you have star players, it's for your star players to be held accountable and to hold others accountable too. And like I said, TD, Ryan Khalil, Greg Olson, they were people who I looked to say, they're doing it right. They're doing it this way. They're working out like this. They're practicing like this. So therefore, I have to practice like this too. So over time, to my point, when you bring in new energy, when you bring in new personnel, they may not know the importance of an older veteran player, even though his production may not necessarily be up to par, but he's the glue in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much that I had to learn throughout my tenure in the league was locker room connectivity is just as important as on the field connectivity.
It's everything.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, knowing how to communicate with players, the way I communicate with Ryan Khalil is completely different than how I communicate with Luke. The way that Luke communicates with Shaq is completely different than how Shaq, speaks to Roman Harper. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. So for me, it was like understanding and identifying the importance of harmony within your team.
And this how we did in Seattle. Coach Carroll would come up to us. Hey, KJ, Bobby, we thinking about bringing in this dude. Hey, Russ, what you think about this free agent right here? And he would take our opinion into consideration. Did you or anybody else in the organization have that kind of pull to coach, this dude, I don't know about, coach, we need to go get this dude and make it happen. Did you or anybody else have that kind of pull or relationship with the coaches or GM to this dude fit our franchise?
At one point in time, we did. But I think, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, that was lost when Tepper came in. Because to Tepper's defense, he didn't necessarily know. I don't even know if he still knows that. You see what I'm saying? Because when you have accountability throughout the whole organization, it's apparent and you see it on Sundays. You see what I'm saying? Head coach, no head coach, GA, GM, it doesn't necessarily matter. Right is right and wrong is wrong. If you're bringing in a guy that don't mesh, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And we should be able to go to any powers that be to be able to speak on that tone. Now, but that also comes with comfort. That also comes with understanding. That also comes with everybody pulling from the pool of we just want to win. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you feel like, nah, shut the hell up. You just do your job. I'm going to do mine. That's when,
That's when it fall apart.
You see what I'm saying? That's when that regular red or blue or white shirt turns into tie-dye. You know what I mean? Because it's just like everybody is not on the same page. You feel me?
And Cam, let's go down memory lane. Let's take it back to our era real quick. Seahawks versus the Carolina Panthers. We won in the same division, but that for damn sure was a rivalry. We talking Greg Olson versus Cam Chancellor. We talking Jonathan Stewart versus Bobby Wagner, Richard Sherman versus Ted Ginn. Bro, how would you, because anytime we came there, it was hot as hell. It was muggy. Sun was beaming. Anytime y'all came to us, it was loud and popping. Y'all got the winners, and we beat y'all as well. But how would you sum up that rivalry that we had in our era?
Man, listen, that was football. I'll take you back to one play. I forget, it was Mike Tolbert. He was kind of like our imposer, right? And it was early on in the game. I don't remember what year it was. It was like a 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1. And it was Mike Tolbert and Cam Chancellor. They kind of met at the hole. Bah! That's all you heard. And I was like, oh, shit. Yo. Boy, they hitting. Boy, I just remember anytime playing Seattle, the real Legion of Doom, you had to wear all your pads. Cuffs, knee pads, hip pads, all that shit. All that cute shit was just out the door because we knew it was going to be a 7-13 type of game. One possession. And, rarely, I think we played y'all on Sunday night where y'all just beat the fuck out of us one time. But other than that, man.
That's the game you didn't start. That's the game you came out and like, we was like, where the hell Cam at? Some backup quarterback came in.
Yeah.
And
it was a fucking tie, bro. Yeah. And it was
I heard about it.
Oh my God, bro. It was just a shit show just on what are we really talking about? And people really can't fathom like, yo, he didn't start because he didn't wear a tie. And I'm saying to myself, like, yes, bro. Like, that's the shit that we was battling behind the scenes. And I'm like, yo, let's keep football. And especially when you just as swaggy as I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be fresh as fuck now. Come on now. But it was like I wore nothing really exotic. It was like a turtleneck. And the GM at the time, he made it a mandatory rule on the road that everybody had to wear a tie. And I was like, I don't have a tie. Like, what do you want me to do? So that was just a perfect example of like, you just do what I say type shit, where it's like, yo, he should have counseled the captains. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got captains in place for. But that's what it was.
And Ken, walk me through. This is one of your best plays I ever seen you made. It's 2015. Y'all down by 3 points. It's 2-minute drill. You win Seattle. Ball's in your hand. You got 80 yards to go. 3 points get you a tie. A touchdown, you get the win. But, dog, you put together a drive like no other. Teams don't do that against us. You know what I'm saying? This is a play 2015 to Greg Olsen. Walk me through that drive, but in particular, walk me through that play when it was Greg Olsen. You pumped to the left and just dropped the dime right up the seam to Greg Olsen, bro. Walk me through that huddle and what's going on y'all side of the football.
So, I mean, anytime you get into a 2-minute situation, the offense pretty much can dictate to the defense. Now, your defense, right? Where y'all was stubborn to playing this hybrid cover 3/quarters kind of combination coverage, right? That's what made you guys so great, is because everybody knew what the fuck y'all was going to be in, but you still couldn't stop it. You know what I'm saying? You guys were able to generate a 4-man rush without sacrificing an extra defender, a blitzer, a nickel, or an extra linebacker to generate pressure. Now, that specific drive, I'm going to take you back in that game, Graham Gano had missed the point after. So we really was supposed to be only down by 2 with the potential game-winning field goal to win the game, but he missed the field goal, the PAT, and that's really what put us in a position to be down by 3. So with that whole drive, Coach Shula at the time and Ken Dorsey was my quarterback coach, so he was in my ear. All they was saying all week was just find completions. On this defense, just find completions, right? You're going to have completions to be had, just find them. And it was a relatively high-scoring game, upwards of a high 20s and the 30s. So given the opportunity with a minute and some change, it was just find completions. So Jericho Cotry had a clutch third down, a 4th down kind of reception, and we just jumped the ball, and we caught you guys in a communication error, so to speak, because you guys never run Tampa 2, right? So that specific route was set up to beat cover 3, right? It was like Greg had a double move, but Greg's IQ on the field is just so crazy that when he seen Earl rolling back to the middle of the field, he just kept it on the seam, right? Running away from Sherman. And that's pretty much what it was, dog. It was like, I don't know, bro. Like you know, man, in those locker rooms after the game, that's what I really miss most. But going into a hostile environment where, bro, y'all fans was obviously giving us a run for our money to get a much needed touchdown in that specific situation was just like icing on the cake.
Yeah, and Cam, I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. I didn't play some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I didn't play some slouches, but whenever we played you, bro, I don't know if you felt this. Now I want you to really think about it. I don't know if you felt this, but for some reason, bro, when people tackled you, when people hit you, when people like really faced Cam Newton, it was an extra little type of energy when they faced you.
Yeah,
It was extra little,
yeah.
it was extra little
But I
shit
wanted
talking.
that. I wanted it though.
But hold up. I know you wanted it, but why do you think it came with Cam? I'm like, hold up, y'all ain't said nothing about nobody else but Cam. Why did you want it? Why do you think it came in particular with you?
But I would say this. That's just a competitor, bro. Like, I wouldn't want nobody to take it easy on me. Not that anybody would. I think in that type of situation, like, that's just what the game was. Any real competitor wants to play the best. You feel what I'm saying? And my playing style was, I don't feel like I'm in the game if I don't touch the ball, meaning running the football or even throwing the ball. I'm not the quarterback that, you know, hand the ball off first down, hand the ball off second down, and then all of a sudden you're expecting me to make, you know what I'm saying, a throw on third down. I prefer to touch the ball on first or second down, have my, you know, heart rate up so now I can focus on the third down throw. You see what I'm saying? And it really took some time for the coaches to kind of find out, okay, this is the type of animal that we have, because usually some would think my playing style isn't sustainable. But I never got hurt in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? I looked at it through the lens where I felt like I could protect myself more if I was a runner versus, you know, being in the pocket stagnant. But all in all, bro, I just go back to those hits were a little harder. You know what I'm saying? That energy and that kind of tempo was just a little bit more thick, a little bit, so to speak. Because yeah, Cliff, hey, man, you know Cliff, doggone Michael Bennett, like all them guys, bro, they talking shit from the first snap to the last snap. You see what I'm saying? From the jump. And it was intimidating to a degree for a lot of players, but for us, man, that particular time we was ready for it.
Let me tell you what it was, bro. Let me tell you what it was from our side. When it came to Cam Newton, it started with you in college. It started with you in Auburn. Everybody seen this dude, 6'4", 245 pounds, got this nice pearly white smile. And dog, anytime you stepped into the end zone, bro, you low-key embarrassed dudes, bro. You embarrassed dudes by running them over, by calling out the play like you did with Clay Matthews before you snapped the ball, and you celebrated your ass off, and bro, dudes could not stand that from you. So you better believe it. Like, if I'm going to hit this dude, if I'm going to get a chance to tackle this dude, I'm going to put some extra energy on it. And I know on your end, you didn't care. I'm going to get in this end zone. I'm going to smile. I'm going to talk myself. I'm going to do my dance. That's what it was when it came to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
That's what it was when it came to you. So,
well, for me, the coach would say, act like you've been there before.
yeah.
But I was like, shit, I don't know if this is going to be my last time getting in this motherfucker. So, shit, I had to smile. I had to, you know, have fun with it, because that's when I played my best ball. You feel me? And, you know, it took years, and I'm saying years, for Coach Rivera to understand that. It took years for Mike Shula to understand that, Rob Chudzinski, Ken Dorsey, those guys to understand, like, man, we just got to let this motherfucker be him. Because when he's smiling, that means we as a team are doing something good. And I will hear scouting reports, you know what I'm saying, you stop Cam, you stop the team. You feel what I'm saying? And that's a big responsibility to have, but I never looked at it like that. I looked at it as, if I can get in my groove, right, to take over a game in ways that the game was just coming to me, then shit, a smile, a damn dance, a damn, you know, doing something extra was just all a part of the plan.
Mm-hmm. And bro, let's Sticking with 2015, right? MVP of the league. Whooping ass, taking names. Best player on the football. Only one person can receive this accolade, and it was Cam Newton. But bro, what you did on the field was legendary, but I really want you to put young cats on game with this. Take me to your offseason, right? Take me into what went into the way you prepared leading up to that season. What you ate, the way you trained, how you watch film from high school to college. Even dudes in the league now can take what you did in the offseason and apply it to their game, bro. Really put dudes on and take them to their offseason like, okay, this is what I did. This is how I put together this phenomenal football season.
So, really it was one of those situations where it was kind of like Michael Jordan and the Pistons, right? We all saw The Last Dance, and he knew he had to equip himself mentally and physically with an attitude that he got to get prepared, for, what's to come. And even when we weren't in the playoffs, I never stopped working out. So for me, early on in my career, I didn't stop working out until the Super Bowl. So every single day, every single week, making sure my diet was still the same, just preparing myself mentally and spiritually, like, yo, if this is where I want to get to, like, I gotta go through that realm. I knew we were a team that was always trending up. So in the off season, I think David Gettleman had kind of put me on game and was like, there's two types of football players. There's football players, and then there's professional football players. The professional football players treat this game as a 365-day-a-year sport. And when he told me that, I was like, yo, like, okay, cool. Then now I have to make sure my diet right. I implemented becoming vegan around 2013 to 14 just to make sure that, okay, I would never not be in my best shape. You see what I'm saying? And then adding that to the season was something that, okay, I know I have to prepare like a quarterback. Physically, I had to prepare like a running back. And endurance-wise, I had to prepare like a receiver. So all those things taken on, I look at a guy like Lamar Jackson probably is the only person that could kind of relate to that kind of trend of putting your body through the mental stress and the physical stress on a given Sunday. And the sad truth about playing football or any sport is you only get judged by Sundays. You know what I'm saying? And you work all week to perform at a high level, and that's why it's so demoralizing when you don't win. You feel me? Because so much goes into it. You don't get to see your family. You don't get to see your children. You don't get to see your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, because you're sacrificing that time to become a better version of the athletic person you are. So, with that being said, it's all about balance. And I would always take that mental approach to incorporate small things, whether it was in season or out of season.
I'm gonna push back a little bit on you. I'm gonna push back a little bit. We do play this game for our brothers. We do play this game for our families. Mm-hmm. We do play it a little, tad bit for, the fans. But dog, we also play this game for, it's like, I love this. I'm doing this. I'm the one doing these squats. I'm the one that's doing all this work. Yeah. At the end of the day, my dog, you gotta have that resignation within, like, job well done. You set out what you wanted to do. You accomplished it. It's like, I think it's personal. I like to give our own selves a pat on the back. Like, man, you did go out and you earned that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, one thing about it though, and two things for certain. It ain't a lot of dudes that done did what I done did. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about from high school to college to the NFL. You see what I'm saying? And every time I talk to, people who are close to me, they would agree. Being a 5-star athlete in high school, not only a 5-star athlete in high school, being a 5-star athlete in junior college, keeping that same trajectory while you in college, making an impact the way I did. Not only that, making an impact in the league. It was like, yo, bro, like, that's one thing that I probably could say Tom Brady didn't even do, you know what I'm saying? Or even really Peyton Manning. It was like, yo, these folks, they was good in the league. But when you talk about the whole circle of rec ball, high school, college, NFL, not a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna even ask you, are you retired? That ain't we didn't even go there. But when I am gonna ask you, you gave me a question. You didn't play last year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you miss most? Is it playing ball or is it the locker room?
Oh, the locker room for sure. I'm
For
a
sure.
people's person.
That's easy.
You know what I'm
And hold
saying?
up.
Like,
And bro, explain it to the fans why it's the locker room, because people just think Sundays is everything, which it is. But I'll really explain the locker room to people.
okay, going back to what I said, you can't coach or get guys going like you do everybody else. You see what I'm saying? And I remember guys like Michael Orr, right? And Orr, the OG, what's my man name? Drake and Florence. You know, these guys impacted me in my career in a way it was like, yo, for Victory Mondays, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself. But if you ain't gonna be focused come Wednesday morning, which that's the unanimous, you know, Wednesday morning is kind of like the full practice day or Thursday, whatever you doing on Victory Monday, it should subside and it should not be a distraction come Wednesday, because obviously Tuesdays are you know, the off day for the league. But, you know, through it all, bro, that locker room interaction, you know, chest bumping guys, really being able to, or in game, looking at motherfuckers in their eye and like, bro, I need you. You know what I'm saying? That type of connectivity is something that you would never really kind of get back. But what I do now, I implement those type of relationships in my businesses. So the importance of everybody getting along with each other, the importance of everybody knowing exactly what the vision of the company is, everybody understanding like, yo, you are important. You see what I'm saying? And everybody is not above being told that's wrong or that's right. You see what I'm saying? Like, leadership can come from a rookie or leadership can come from a 15-year vet. It doesn't necessarily matter. So when I think back of the things that have accomplished, it's definitely, you know, the locker room interactions by far, because that brotherhood that you kind of have is something where you will never get that back. You know what I'm saying? And that's that.
And Cam, this coming from a retired dude, like when you do decide to hang them up, bro, do me a favor and do your very best to try to create the locker room as much as you can, because when you're on this side, it's like I'm used to seeing my brothers every day, talking shit, you know, playing ball. And then you go from like, damn, that's a wrap. You're with the wife and kids.
Yeah.
And so I think dudes personally need to somehow stay around football, whether it's with the 7-on-7, whether it's, you know, front office, coaching, whatever. Like, try to create that environment to where you don't lose your damn mind, essentially.
Absolutely. Man, I would always tease myself, and everybody who was my teammates over the years knew I was King Toxic, right? I was the one to ask the questions that, you know what I'm saying, that to get everybody kind of rolling, either in the team meeting or in the personal meeting, offensive meeting. It didn't matter. Like, I was the guy to kind of bring the lighthearted version to what we did, you know, in a way that if you sitting at 2-3, you know, the fans ain't really on your side. I just wanted to, you know, have an energy where somebody would see me and they would smile. They'll feel good, like, damn, we got hope. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, overall, bro, I'm agreeing with you. Like, it's tough, it's hard, you know, and you know, when talking to trusted advisors in my life, friends, family, loved ones, the thing that I miss most is the competitive energy that you can kind of, you know, lash out with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like take our games, for example. Like, if you tackle me and you get up and you say, fuck boy, I'm gonna be here all day. It's like, okay, that was what's expected. You know, you do that shit. Try to do that shit at your local grocery store and see what happens.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. You can't. You know what I'm saying? That's assault right there. You see what I'm saying? But that energy where you transform, and you got to be a little cuckoo to play the sport, especially knowing that you're playing in front of 80 to 90,000 screaming fans. Right? There's no other feeling outside of, let's say in college, it's probably the playoffs now or the national championship or like a rivalry game. There's no other feeling in the NFL that you get when you're playing that playoff game, because every down counts. Everything counts, you know what I'm saying? And as you're running outside of that tunnel, you got to flip that energy from, being scared and fearful to like, that's what I'm going to use to dominate this game the best way I know how. So, I mean, bro, now being thrusted into the real world, thrusted into like, everyday life is like, what can I do? I recently took on tennis. I recently, trying to took on like fantasy football and things like
Do pickleball while you're at it.
just something that you could just lash out and just still be free and compete.
Well, dog, man, I don't want to hold you up, bro. I appreciate you. I truly, truly appreciate you joining us. You a legend, bro. What you done on the field, what you done off the field, and your community for the game, man, you well respected. So this coming from a linebacker, someone that knows ball. So, thank you, man, for joining us. So,
man, KJ,
truly
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for allowing me to come on your platform, man. And man, for those who know, it's tough. But at the same time, leaning on good friends that you pick up through the game of football is essential, because not a lot of people can relate to, the stress that you may get outside of the game. And it has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with just the mental space that you're in. And I think a lot of men need to come together and speak vulnerable to each other to be able to have or to live at peace with themselves.
no doubt. Hey, appreciate y'all joining us. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe. Cam Newton, plug your podcast, Cam, while you at it. Plug your podcast.
Man, listen, let me start with tuning in each and every Wednesday to my sports show, 4th and 1, for obvious reasons. Every Friday, Funky Friday, will grace your YouTube screen exclusively on my YouTube page. And, I just try to use that platform of YouTube to show the humanistic side of who Cam Newton really is, man. Appreciate you.